KT7 up here. Today, I will review and showcase 140AC Cloud. He will arrive on day 1 of the FF7 Advent Children collaboration. He is the first unit in the game that has access to AoE penetration. He also has a 3-hit sure hit attack that can build up slash chains. Definitely a top-tier DPS unit. These are the items we will go over today. Let's get started. Cloud is a 100 cost light unit in the Great Sword group. His sub-jobs are Great Knight and Knight. His TMR is a heavy armor. The stats are HP 368, Defense 12, and Spirit 10. The ability is a cross-shape group buff. The effects of the ability last for 4 turns. It grants the group reaction block rate 50 and slash attack up 25. The ability is alright, reaction block rate is good, but it being a heavy armor really limits the number of users. I recommend not to give him higher than 50 faith. If you are not giving him bells, you can lower it even further to minimize the chance of catching random status effects. But 50 is where I have him at. His weapon type resistances are 20 to slash, 10 to pierce, neutral to missile, and 15 to magic. The only negative is to strike, at -10. His ailments resistances are 50 to frostbite, 50 to paralysis, and 10 to stun. Having 50 frostbite resistance is really good for him, since his AP management is not the best. Next is the stats comparison. Cloud also has next-gen stats, crazy amount of HP and attack. His base luck is at 187, which enables his semi-evasion build. With his main job support ability equipped, his agility will be at 77. That same support also gives him move 4. Having higher movement is very good on certain maps. Moving over to his master ability and 140 upgrades. His master ability gives him 40 reaction block rate and reduce physical damage by 10%. At level 140, he gets AoE resistance 15, slash penetration 20. And upgrade to cross slash to include dispel wide area guard active buffs. His 140 upgrades are really good. Next, his new weapon, the fusion sword. The general ability is slash attack 15. For Cloud only, he gets 20 AoE penetration, initial AP 20, and magic wide area guard 15. I highly recommend getting 1 aim and 1 assault. His accuracy is really bad, aim type will help him avoid random misses. AoE penetration is a new thing in the game. It is very useful during this transition period to wide area guard. I believe the raid is still going on. Be sure to farm as much of the army plate recipes as you can. The 15 magic wide area guard cannot be dispelled since it is on an item. The Trials of Reckoning item, Cloud's cell phone, is one of the best in recent memories. The general abilities are unit resistance 10 and acquired AP up 40%. And for Cloud, he gets physical wide area guard 15 and reaction block rate 40. This is a good one, don't miss out. With this and fusion sword, he gets wide area guard 15 for both physical and magic. Moving over to his main job support abilities. Support number 1 gives him defense penetration 40, slash penetration 40, and wide area guard 25. This will stack with fusion sword and his cell phone. His support number 2 gives him 12% agility and move +1. His main job reaction has a 70% chance to reduce incoming slash and missile type damage by 40%. This is his best reaction ability. Now let's move on to his LB. It is a unit attack with range of 4 and range height of 3. Before damage increase his physical damage by 20% for 3 turns, and breaks target's physical damage barrier. Then deals extra large damage, and lower target's chain resistance by 50 for 3 turns post damage. It also recovers 10 AP for Cloud. This LB is very strong, and the range height of 3 makes it very easy to target the enemy. Moving over to his buffing abilities. His highest priority ability is a cross-shaped group buff. It gives the group 4-turn shell. And for Cloud, he gets courage and lower physical damage taken by 25% for 4 turns. He also gets unit resistance 25 and dispel protect on hit, while shell or courage is active. Since this gives him courage, the AI will not reapply it as long as courage is intact. His second priority ability is a self-buff. Grants Cloud a 7.5k HP magic damage barrier. And also gives him a 4-turn, shell dispel ceiling on hit effect. This ability isn't that useful in the current physical heavy meta, but it will come in handy when magic meta makes a comeback. His AI will use a self-only TMR ability such as haste before using this, so you don't have to turn this off. Now let's move over to his attacks. The first one is Cross Slash, his signature ability. An AoE attack in a square shape with range up to 4, range height and area height of 1. Before damage, increase Cloud's AoE penetration by 40 for 3 turns, and dispel opponents' wide area guard buffs. Then deals a 3-hit, sure hit large damage. Most sure hits are either small or medium damage, but Cross Slash has large damage. This ability can build up chains and have his teammates cap it off. It works really well even against evasion units. With Cloud's high penetrations, there is really nothing he can't slash to pieces. The second ability on the list is a unit attack with range of 4 and range height of 1. Before damage, lower target's unit resistance by 25, then deals large damage. Cloud will recover 15 AP if he KOs the target with this ability. He would recover another 10 AP if his HP is above 50% when he performs this attack. The total AP recovery is 25 if both conditions are met. The animation of this attack is super cool too. His third attack on the list is also a unit attack and is low AP ability. It has range of 3 and range height of 1. Deals small damage and increases agility by 25% for the next 3 turns. Next is his job level 25 attack. It is a cross-shaped AoE that can hit up to 5 squares away. It also has a range height of 1 and area height of 1. Before damage, dispel all buffs, including haste, from the targets. Then deals large damage, and lower target's buff enhancement rate by 50% for the next 3 turns. This can lower the potency of the enemies before damage buff, such as June's Spring Storm that gives her slash pin up. A general dispel is also good to have. But I usually turn this ability off so that he would use cross slash and start the slash chain sooner. The AI prioritizes dispel over his triple hit. However, cross slash has only 3 uses, be mindful of that. That's all from his main job. Let's move on to his subs. The first ability from his main sub is an AoE that can hit up to 3 targets in front of him. It does medium damage and it has 25% chance to inflict Berserk. The other sub ability is a unit attack that has a range of 2 and range height of 1. It does a 2-hit large damage. His main job sub is not really good. Let's look at his other sub jobs. Let's look at Great Knight first. The support abilities are Great Knight Lore and Unwavering Spirit. Great Knight Lore gives Cloud 24% attack and 40 defense penetration. Unwavering Spirit gives him Pierce and Missile Resistance 12. The reaction ability is Endure, 20% chance to reduce all incoming damage by 30%. Along with his main support number 1, Great Knight Lore will push his defense penetration to 80. Depending on the teams, I switch between his agility support and Great Knight Lore. The 2 notable abilities from Great Knight are Ground Pound and Great Slash. Even though Ground Pound is a strike type attack, it gives him a light resistance and peril attack, so that he has a way to deal with 100% light resistance enemies. Great Slash is a cross-shaped AoE physical barrier break, very good to have in the current game. Great Knight is the sub-job that I like the most. Light resistance is the only thing that can slow him down. His other sub-job is Knight. The support abilities are Knight Lore and Divine Protection. Both are okay, but I don't recommend them. The reaction ability is Sword Guard. The notable ability from Knight is Trinity Break. Not a bad ability, but the range is limited. I don't recommend Knight at all. Divine Protection has 12 AoE resistance, but in the current meta, there is just too many AoE resistance and peril out there. That's it for his kit. Let's move on to his VCs. The first vision card I am covering today is the Advent Children card. It supports Sword Red Mage, Sword Warrior, and Great Sword. The stats are HP 364, Attack 149, and 3 Agility. There are many Great Sword VCs that has agility. They can be very speedy if you build for it. The party abilities are Attack 60%, Crit Evade 16, and Unit Resistance 20. The bestowed effects are Attack 10% and HP 10%. The Hollow Party ability for dual content is Debuff Reduction 15. And VC Mastery are Light Attack 2, and Missile Resistance 2. This is the first and only Unit Resistance VC for Great Sword. It also has lots of attack, and 15 debuff reduction. This card enables many teams, a must-get. Especially for Great Sword teams. It also supports Red Mage just like the AoE resistance card from the Nier collaboration. The second VC for today is technically Tifa's card, but I think this is very impactful for Cloud as well. It supports Great Sword, Fist and Staff Black Mage. The stats are HP 349, Attack 158, and AP 12. The party abilities are Luck 42%, Agility 12%, and Magic Resistance 20. The bestowed effects are Attack 10% and Strike Penetration 20. The Hollow party ability is for Guild Battle and it is Accuracy 15. The VC Mastery are Strike Attack 2 and Crit Damage 2. With Hyoa's VC, the team has 30 Magic Resistance from Vision cards alone. This is also a top tier VC. Luck is such an important stat, and it has Agility too. Even though it is only 12% in the main slot and 6% in the sub slot, it is still very valuable. Plus it has 15 accuracy for Guild Battle, another very crucial stat. This card also enables semi-evasion builds for Cloud. Overall, both of these VCs are very good for all the units that they support. Now let's continue on to equipments, Truststones, and Espers. For all Cloud builds, the Fusion Sword is his best weapon. 20 AoE penetration and 15 magic wide area guard are OP. For a bruiser build, I like his cell phone the most. Gives him unit resistance and physical wide area guard. It also free up 2 Truststone ability slots for him. In the TMR slot, Bromwell's TMR is my top choice. He does have a bit of AP issues. This TMR can lower his AP consumption and give him haste. Perfect for him. He can also equip Keen Blade, which work very well with his higher movement. For an evasion build, give him either the Crow Cloak or the Hermes Sandals. For his Truststones, on the left, I like the Vital for a bruiser build and Luck set for evasion build. On the right, I like Agility set the most, but Attack set is useful when you are giving him higher agility and movement. It can make up for the lower defense penetration and gives him more attack. For his Espers, the Minotaur is my top choice. Dark Bahamut is also a great choice. For evasion, Dark Odin and Dark Ifrit are both good. Anima is a great choice for light matchups. Next, sample teams. The first team is Greatsword 2.0 with Spring Joom and Astrius. In the current JP or the upcoming GL meta, Astrius is a better choice than A2 in most cases. Because of the long-range barrier break, and there are just too many Sephiroths around. They can both remove courage. You can't go wrong with either one. Cloud is on his main support ability 1 and Great Knight lore, and his main job reaction ability. In a setup like this, Cloud has 90 defense penetration and 70/ penetration to start, with no way to increase those mid-fight. His AoE penetration starts at 20, and it will go up to 60 for 3 turns when he uses Cross Slash. His unit resistance starts at 30, and will be at 55 when he has either Shell or Courage active. AoE resistance is at 35 with up to 40% wide area guard for all damage. This team is all about slash chaining. Cloud's job is to start chains with his cross slash. Astrius is there to break barriers and remove courage. Spring Joom is the most bulky unit to cap chains with her massive damage and remove re-raise. This is the best team in the game right now in my opinion. It is a very difficult team to beat. I think it will stay as a top tier team until we have more access to type chain damage mitigation. Should you need more accuracy on the team, A2 is the better choice. You can also give the team more accuracy but swapping Tifa's VC with Hyoa's card for more luck. She can also remove courage, but she is very reliant on healing and re-raise, plus she is an ice unit, which makes her a very bad matchup against Sephiroth. A couple VCs I want to bring attention to are the Triple Trick Halloween VC and Elsie's solo mission. You can give Triple Trick to either Joom or Astrius, so they can have a 3-hit attack. Elsie's solo mission gives the group 13 more debuff reduction and 22% max HP in the sub-slot to make the team more defensive. You can also put them in the Guild Battle Reserve units when it arrives in Global. Next we have a couple more great sword teams. The team at the top is a semi-evasion setup with Ruinstern. This is definitely not the best evasion team out there, but it can catch people off guard. The team at the bottom is Mixed Devout. Shalze can boost the team's light, dark, and AoE resistances. She can give the team more sustain. Or you can slot her in if you are missing a third great sword unit. Now let's look at mono light setups. The first mono light setup I have prepared is a semi-evasion team with Elena and young Helena. Cloud is on Great Knight sub, both support abilities from his main, and main job reaction ability. If you have Cloud maxed out, he will have around 610 luck and 110 evasion. Elena is one of Cloud's best chaining partners with her upgraded LB, and multi-hits abilities. She is also the best light evasion unit. Young Helena's semi-evasion is still very good and she can provide magic damage and inflict sleep. Since Cloud is on his agility main job support, so his defense penetration is down to 50, and slash pen is remained at 70. And his physical wide area guard is down from 40% to 25% because of Hermes sandals. All of the next gen units can be semi-evasive, be sure to mind your accuracy. The last team I have prepared is the physical light team with Bartz and Lucio. This team functions similarly with a full great sword team, it relies on slash chains. Lucio's sword got an upgrade to increase all elemental resistance from 10 to 15, made him just a tiny bit tankier. Bart's follow-up attack isn't quite impactful now, but it still provides some chip damage. Wingstern doesn't really work with Cloud, since he is not supported by the Advent Children VC. His LB upgrades gave him AoE penetration, it's too bad that he does not work well with Cloud. I have Cloud on his agility support here, but you can use Great Knight lore to give him more defense penetration. His slash penetration is at 88, that might be a bit overkill, you can definitely sub that out with Rob's VC to give the team more raw attack and some slash pen to the other members. This team is pretty strong but not Cloud's best setup. Great Sword is where Cloud truly shines bright. That's all the team I have prepared. Now let's look at the Great Sword VCs quickly before my final thoughts. The group has all the necessary cards to put together a strong team. The Advent Children VC is the last piece of the puzzle. There are a few notable crossovers, Devout, Red Mage and Black Mage. I want to bring attention to the Red Mage crossover with SummerGlaciela. If you are missing A2 or Astrius, SummerGlaciela is a great choice. You can give her equipment such as Gauntlet of Sharp Steel to help imperil healing power and slash resistance. And or Win Veritas TMR to mess with opponents' AP management. Okay, now my final thoughts on AC Cloud. He is a top-tier DPS unit that does not have a lot of modern utilities, such as re-raise or courage removal. He also lacks select multiple targets unit attacks that can hit enemies from all directions. The only thing that he is good at is dealing damage. He can penetrate most of the resistances we currently have in the game. His 3-hit sure-hit cross-slash is deadly on a full great sword or monolight team. Most of his survivability comes from his wide area guard, so be sure to farm a +5 cell phone for him to increase his physical wide area guard and unit resistance. In the current meta, his magic damage mitigation is not that impactful, but I am sure he will be a top choice when magic rolls back around. Cloud does not rely on any healing, in a way he is not afraid of Sephiroth's curse. On a full great sword setup, he is a great unit to bait out Sephiroth's LB with his high agility and movement, thus protecting Jum and A2. Standalone, he is not as strong as Ashen King or Jim, but he completes the strongest weapon type team in Great Sword. If you are looking for a high damage bruiser, Cloud is your guy. Or if you a fan, go for him. You won't be disappointed. Now let's go to some sample matches. The first match of the day is full Great Sword against Mono Fire with Sephiroth. I believe this fire team is fully reincarnated. Let's see what Cloud can do. I will have Sephiroth's 140 showcase ready when he is announced in the news. Cloud's first action is Group Buff, giving the group 4 turn shell. For himself Courage, plus unit resistance 25 and Dispel Protect on hit while Courage or Shell is active. Also lower physical damage taken by 25% for 4 turns. Second action, Bromwell's TMR. Lower AP consumption 25% and haste for 3 turns. This TMR has higher priority than his own self-buff. This is such a great TMR for him, it helps him dish out more attacks, and the haste can make up for lack of agility from Knight lore. Cloud's third action, his own self-buff, giving him 7.5k HP magic damage barrier and 4 turn shell dispel sealing on hit. The sealing effect lasts for 4 turns. In this match I am using Astrius as bait for Sephiroth's Curse LB. When running Great Sword against him, try not to have Jum catch his LB. Even with 25 resistance to Curse, it will still land most of the time. The Curse inflicted Astrius, but that's fine. This is cross slash from Cloud. A triple hit sure hit attack. Before damage, increases AoE penetration by 40 for 3 turns, and dispel target's wide area guard active buffs. Then deals 3 hit large damage. Sephiroth is a status effect monster. Sleep landed on both of my units. This is the main reason why I don't like to run Sol's main job sub. He could have taken out both Astrius and Cloud with his LB. But he healed himself instead. Cloud is using his cross slash on Sephiroth again. Jum then caps off on the slash chain with her re-raise removal attack and taking out Sephiroth. Cap damage, that's the power of Cloud and Jum together. When going up against Sol and Sephiroth, you just cannot guard against all the status effects. It is a very tough matchup for any team. I escaped with just Jum standing. This is typically how close these matches are. Next up, we have a different mono fire team. This time featuring Shalze, an anti-light setup with Demon Wall on Sephiroth. In this match I have Cloud's job level 25 ability turned on. So you guys can see what it does. Cloud is starting off with his group buff, giving himself courage, unit resistance 25, and dispel protect on hit. Bromwell's TMR on turn 2. If you give him Bradley's TMR, that will go off on turn 3 after his magic barrier buff. Be sure to test out your buff order when you are giving him a different self-only TMR. Magic HP barrier on turn 3. But against Sol, it is pretty useless. His select 2 ability can break magic barriers. This is not good. Jum is in range for Sephiroth's LB. If she catches Curse, I will have very little chance of winning. Astrius's LB can also break physical barriers. Very good against all the next-gen units. Sephiroth's innate barrier is now broken. Here comes Cloud job level 25 ability. Cross-shaped AoE, dispel all buffs from targets, including haste. Then deals large damage, and lower target's buff enhancement rate by 50% for the next 3 turns. Sephiroth's LB is targeting Jum. And the curse resistance pays off, she is okay. Cloud caught the curse, but I don't really care. This is Cloud's AP recovery attack. Before damage, lower target's unit resistance by 25, then deals damage large. Recover 15 AP if target is KO'd, and recover another 10 AP if Cloud's HP is above 50%. Since both conditions are met, he recovered 25 AP. Very cool animation, by the way. Cloud's range is limited, he can't get to Shalze. So he reapplied his courage buff. Next we are going up against a semi-evasion light team. I am bringing a 2 for higher hit rate. I don't really care for Jum in his match, her sure hit has very short range. I want to try and push Cloud and A2 forward ahead of Jum as much as possible, so she can come in later on to finish off the opponents. Group buff on turn 1. Cloud is on his move +1 and agility support ability in this match, to use Keen Blade and move up faster. Keen Blade on turn 2, then move forward. Cross slash on enemy's Elena. One shot and popped her courage. Jume's accuracy is too low to do anything. But that's okay, her teammates are really good evade hunters. Cross slash to take out Helena and Elena. Keep in mind, he only has 3 uses of cross slash. It is not ideal to fight 2 evasion teams during guild battle. Next is another match against evasion. This time Earth evade with Ashen King and Halloween Lucio. Cloud is also on this move +1 support, but this time no Keen Blade. My Jume's accuracy is around 100, she should be able to hit Ashen King from the side. If you don't need the magic barrier, you can turn it off to save some CT or give him another buff. HP magic barrier is active, so no damage from Renoa. Cross slash took out Lucio. Jume cannot hit Ashen King from the front. When going up against evasion, A2 is the choice. Astrius suffers from the same issue as Jume. Their sure hits have short range and only small damage. Jume finally lands a hit. Then Cloud uses his cross slash to take out Renoa, and popped Ashen King's courage. Next we have my light evasion team against Ice Mixed Earth. My Elena is only at level 120, so her damage is not that good. But should be okay if they can't hit her. I will have another match after this one to show off Cloud's LB. That's all I have for today. Tifa's video will be next. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.
してやるわ。